And I think we're good. Yeah!
Hey, folks! I hope you're ready to sauce up your pasta. I'm still thinking about saucing up some pasta here, everybody!
Pasta makes me feel hungry. I'm hungry then.
I'd rather just eat garlic bread.
I work at Olive Garden. If anyone's eating garlic, it's me.
Want some garlic bread with some cheese on top.
Hi, I'm halitosis man.
Hey everybody, welcome to BYOI, the 9 o'clock show. We're so glad to have you here with us. Happy to be performing for you every Friday night as we always do. Hey, for those of you joining us on Zoom, we love to have you live. Hope you're ready to bring some of your own improv. And some of you who are watching us live on YouTube, we love you too. And while you're there, like us, subscribe to us, do all those YouTube-y things. Be glad to hear it. You Zoom people, we got some stuff for you to do as well, of course. One thing is you can watch us in speaker view. That's what we recommend. You may be seeing us in gallery view, little tiny boxes. If you want to see us in big boxes, you can go right up here to the corner where it says view, little icon up there, and click on that, switch over to speaker view, get the best view of us. Also, chat, very important. Down here's a little button that says chat. Over there, a white thing will appear. You can type in it and make suggestions, participate even if you're muted, and in general, contribute to the show. And we love it when you do that. So please do. And just to make sure it's working for you, hey, it's Labor Day weekend. What was your favorite place you ever went to do something for Labor Day? Can be a specific geographic location or non-geographic location. Your favorite kind of getaway Labor Day weekend spot. So you put those in and get those fingers warmed up for all the suggestions we're going to ask you for later. And that'd be great. So I see some interesting places. All right. Okay. So a couple things I need to tell you about. Exits. If there is an emergency, use the exits. It's your place. You know where they are. We don't have to tell you. Use them. Be safe above all. Stay safe and healthy. Also bathrooms. You also know where those are. Be safe, stay safe and healthy there too. Just leave us behind when you do. We don't need to see any of that. Don't need to see you exiting. Don't need to see you causing something to exit. All the same, leave it behind. All right. Hey, I'm Ian. I'm your host tonight. You've already met Carrie, who greeted you and entertained you before we came to entertain you. And I've got a great cast for you for the 9 o'clock show. I've got Jared.
When I'm hungry, it is brought up in everything I do in the show.
I've got Audrey.
Sup, everybody? Happy to be here.
I've got Mallory.
I'm now in high definition.
I've got John.
Welcome to Pasta Palace. How can I sauce your pasta today?
I've got Candace.
Hey, my cat's trying to catch a bug that's on the outside of the house. How's your day going?
And I've got Daniel.
Hi-ho, it's off to labor we go.
All right. And of course, we've got all of you hopefully volunteering. And we've got one very special one of you. That's our featured audience member, our fam tonight. And our fam, we're going to ask you a few simple questions, get to learn a little bit more about you, and use that to inspire us throughout the show. And to do that, we need to get your name out of our fam cup.
Cup.
So Carrie, who do we have tonight?
For this show, we have Sean.
Sean.
Yay, Sean.
All right.
Hello.
Sean. Okay, Sean, welcome and welcome back to the fam chair. We know you've been fam before, but I'm sure new interview, new questions, new discoveries to be made. And to make those discoveries, we have Jared and Audrey. Go ahead and interview you. You know how this works.
Hi, Sean.
How you doing?
Good. I just wanted to see if the sound came at the same time as your lips moving. Just wanted to make
Yes, this time.
sure. Good. Hey, you know what? Let's start off with the Labor Day theme. What's the worst job you've ever had?
I would probably say working at McDonald's.
Working at McDonald's? All right.
Oh,
So
yeah.
as a guy whose blood is like 20% chicken McNugget at all times, why was that the worst job that you've ever had?
Probably because you smelled like grease all day long, and you couldn't wash that smell off yourself.
Yeah. All right. So smelling like grease, that's not so much fun. But if you could fill your house with the scent of any floral or food item, what would that be?
I always like the fresh linen smell.
All right. Sorry, I got caught up with the lips and the sound again. I'll tell you personally, my greatest skill is binging, like something on Netflix or anything, which is a recurring theme in my questions. So since I'm always looking for something new to watch, what is your latest Netflix binge?
Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai. That is actually my current one right now. To make this fun, can you give like a 1-sentence summary of Cobra Kai?
I would say a flashback of the 80s making fun of itself.
Good.
Cool. That's my favorite genre of movie, frankly, is self-aware parody. Speaking of which, so if you're at like the pharmacy and they have like that rack of like discount DVDs and like impulse purchase candies, what's the thing that you grab at the last minute and put on the belt?
A Reese's.
A Reese's, like the big cups?
I always get a king size.
Excellent. A man of taste, I see.
And habit.
You're a king, you deserve a king size. That's how it is. All right, I have a thing where I get songs stuck in my head for no reason, and it's like the only song I'm thinking about. It's all I'm singing all the time. For like the last 7 months, it's been Love Shack. For you, what is the song that you've been kind of singing to yourself a lot lately? It's just kind of stuck in your head.
I was just singing this to Corey earlier. Everybody hurts.
I'm so glad you sang it right then instead of just saying it, because it was like Michael Stipe was in the Zoom with us tonight.
Mm-hmm. So would you
I
say?
can't even remember who it was.
REM. Come on.
Duh.
All right. Is that like, is REM your favorite band, or do you have another like one that takes the top spot?
I have always been like a Red Hot Chili Peppers fan.
The food or the band? No, just kidding. I just
Oh.
yeah. Food's not bad either.
Give it away, give it away, give it away. This is just an extra question, but now I'm just curious. What was your first favorite Chili Pepper song?
Definitely Under the Bridge.
Hey, sometimes I feel like I don't have a partner too. That's because I'm unlovable and lonely. Well, now that I've brought it down.
Don't say that about yourself, Jared. We've got a show to do.
I'm ready.
All right, we're all ready. So, Sean, one last thing I need from you before we get going. Of all those things that we just covered, what would you really like to see to get us started? Which of those answers should be our initial inspiration?
I'm going to say Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai. Okay, we'll lead it off with the hottest craze, Cobra Kai, and we're going to do that with a game we like to call Fam Sing It. So, this will be a scene where our players will be playing, and at various times they'll say something that to me just sounds like, that's really got to be a song. And I'll tell them to sing it, and they'll break out into music based on what they just said. So why don't we just start with Mallory and John, and your inspiration is Cobra Kai.
Well, I really hope we can finish building this karate studio.
It's really hard though with all these when we're putting it together individually with individual bamboo sticks.
But it's gotta have that authentic feeling. And I mean, worst case scenario, we can just chop it down.
That's true. We could redo it. So, what should we make the roof out of?
It's a good question. I think we should use the leaves because we can just take the stalks and then we're get to use all of the bamboo.
Yeah.
Sing it.
We're gonna use all the bamboo. We've gotta reuse and recycle. We've got the stalks to make the walls. We've got the leaves for our ceiling. So it sounds like a good idea, right?
It does. So I think what we should do, I have a rake here. So I'm gonna start raking together the leaves. And once we have a big enough pile, we can flatten it out to build the roof.
That is a perfect idea.
All right, so I'm gonna start doing that.
Sing it.
Raking the leaves, 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 I'm raking the leaves, yeah!
Who should wander into this garden but Candace?
Hey guys! I was just kind of here to practice a little bit of my meditation. What are you guys doing?
We're building our karate center.
Oh, can I help?
Of course. We've got John over there breaking the leaves and I'm tying bamboo together. What would you like to do?
Well, what are you going to do for the floor?
We're going to use lily pads.
Oh, I have an idea.
What's your idea?
Oh, I think lily pads are great. I was gonna suggest using our extra belts to line the floors.
We should use both lily pads and our extra belts. I think that would. I think that would tie it together really quite nicely. If the floor was made of two different textures, that's real cool. It would be really fun. And we would be able to kick some ass. Because if we're way in here, it's crystal clear. The lily pads and belts are what we need.
And scene. All right. So that'll be a lovely dojo and a lovely garden. Hey, we bring these shows to you for free because we love doing it and we love spending our time with you. We hope to bring you a little entertainment and laughter. But all we ask of you is to come and enjoy the shows. But if you want to do more, there are ways to do that as well. You can go to Venmo and donate to us with Bring Your Own Improv under Venmo, Bring Your Own Improv. You can go to PayPal and PayPal.me/BYOI. Or you can go to our webpage. There's a donate button there. Go ahead and click on that anytime, day or night, and make a donation if you're so inclined. If not, enjoy the shows anyway. We love doing them for you. Okay, now we get to part of our show where you can start to bring on improv. We get some volunteers for our first game, which is Alphabet. And the way Alphabet works, pretty simple. As the scenes are going forward, people are doing each line with the next letter of the alphabet. So if somebody starts the scene with the letter A, then it'll be like, all my dojos are in gardens made from bamboo. And then the next person has to start what they're saying with B, like bamboo, that's the best thing to make dojos of. And then the person responds has to use a C, like, can I do that all the time? So forth and so on. So would anybody like to join us? We can take up to 3 volunteers to play Alphabet with us. Okay, and I see Corey and I see Sarah both volunteering. And so let's get them unmuted. And so the way this will work is we'll have 2 players at a time and I'll just tell people when they come in. So to start with, we'll start this off with Jared and Audrey. They'll begin the scene and let's go ahead and use chili peppers as our inspiration. Got that from the interview. So chili peppers, whatever that means to you. And since that begins with C, we'll start the scene with C.
Chili peppers are definitely both my favorite band and favorite ingredient.
Dad, can you please stop playing your dad music so loud? It hurts my ears.
Everybody loves this music. Give it away, give it away, give it away now. Yeah.
Forget everything you ever learned about classic rock. This is the worst.
God, no. Chili Peppers is not classic rock yet. It has got like 20 more years to go before it's classic rock, kid.
Here's a CD of Frozen. Maybe you could put this in the disk drive instead?
I could also just kind of toss it over. Oh, whoops, trash can. Ooh.
Just so you know, this is my formative years, and you're really kind of making it difficult for me to become a well-adjusted person right now.
Knowing who your parents are, becoming a kind of well-adjusted person is a moonshot anyways, so just enjoy the rock and roll.
Let me listen to Frozen, and I will bake you a chili pepper pizza tonight.
Maybe you could woo me with that, but maybe I could just continue listening to cool music and order a pizza tonight.
None of my other friends have this problem. What's the matter with you?
Oh, your friends don't have this little problem? This isn't a problem. Your friends would love to have a cool dad like me.
Papa, I'm calling Janice right now, and she says that I can sleep over, okay?
Quit trying to get out of this. You're going to be learning by listening to good, cool music.
Red Hot Chili Peppers has never been cool, Dad.
Stop! Never say that again. You are too young to know what's cool, and you are way off in your musical tastes.
Tomorrow, I'll be back from the sleepover, and I'm going to burn all your albums, Dad.
Unless you can recite the lyrics of every Chili Pepper song that made it in the top 10 hits, you are going nowhere tonight.
Verily, that's a vexing problem to pose, Father.
Well, it's not so vexing that you had to sit there and start throwing all this alliteration at me, kid.
Xylophone music is the only thing I'm going to listen to from this day forward.
You think Chili Peppers don't have any songs with xylophones in it? Well, you're wrong. They do.
Zoinks, Dad, you really showed me.
Actually, I've been showing you for years. And someday, you're going to start internalizing it, youngin'.
But that doesn't sound especially healthy for me, a growing child.
And there you go, folks. That is the alphabet. That's how you do it. So they've given us a great example. Nice job, guys. We'll move you along, and we'll bring in Corey and Mallory to continue.
All right.
All right. So what we heard in that scene was a conflict between a parent and a child. So let's see what's inspired by daycare. Daycare is your suggestion. And we'll start with D for daycare.
Damn it, the kids got out again.
Everyone knows the kids need to be inside that daycare.
Full daycare, no kids. I let them out so they could kind of breathe a little bit, and they just ran away.
Good for you.
How are you going to help me if you're just standing there?
I have no idea. I will help you out if I can.
Just so you know, there's twins and triplets. There's also this 4-year-old who keeps saying their name is something else. So you might find one of them, but you're going to have to find the one that when they say their actual name.
Kindly, but I think those kids are adorable kids, and I think they need to have their daycare program regularly.
Look, I get it. Daycare is important, but these kids, you don't understand, man. They're just running in here, pushing buttons and throwing things, and it's a lot.
Maybe you should keep them under control, Mallory.
No. You know what? Those kids should be able to handle themselves. It's a dog-eat-dog world out there, and they should know what they're doing.
Ooh, I think you need to keep them to yourself, because I think the kids need to behave themselves.
Probably. They do need to behave themselves.
Quite so.
So how are we going to get the kids
Up,
back?
up, 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 up. I think we missed an R there.
Yeah, we did.
Mallory, you're out. All right. So let's bring in John. And Corey, John, well, let's just continue this scene, but we'll continue the scene with the missing R.
Really? You lost 100% of the children?
Surprisingly, I really have done that.
Thank you. Thank you for showing me that you are incapable of looking after even a single child.
Unfortunately, I haven't seen a child misbehave themselves in many, many years.
Vehemently, I am telling you, it is not hard to look after a child.
Why do you have to have that kind of behavior with a bunch of children there?
Xylophones keep playing in the background and they're not helping. I'm so frustrated right now.
That's a xylophone
Oh.
stretch. I don't think we're going to take it. John, you're out. All right. So now we're going to bring on Sarah. And Corey, Sarah. Xylophones weren't appropriate in that scene, but they could be appropriate in this scene because now we're going to be at a concert with an orchestra. So we're going to be at a concert with an orchestra, and we'll begin with O.
Okay, so the orchestra is a really good place to be.
Perhaps we could go somewhere else for the date next week.
Quite so. We should go there for a date.
Right, but maybe a little bit more romantic next time?
Sounds good to me.
Thanks. Glad you could get bamboo at least.
Usually, to go on a nice date, we need to get to know each other too.
Violins are kind of not a very good background for that, are they?
Well, violins are part of the orchestra.
I fault.
Oh, nope. I think a little too long there, Sarah. All right.
Yeah,
all right. So,
I just not even
okay,
trying.
So, Corey, you stay on, and Candace will come on to continue this. But we'll move it out of the orchestra and into the Canadian woods for Candace's sake, so she'll feel a little more comfortable and at home. The Great White North, where we will begin with O for O Canada.
Objects in the mirror might be closer than they appear. What does that mean?
Perhaps they should know that Canada is a good subject for maple.
Queens also like talking about Canada, you know? And I'm a queen. So that sentence totally fits our conversation currently right now.
Right on target.
So, how is your day going other than, getting stuck in the Great White North?
Totally awesome.
Unfortunate, huh?
Very unfortunate.
Well, we should be able to pick up this old flat tire anytime soon. Yeah. Do you have a jack? You can get a jack. Jack up the car. Fix the tire.
Xavier, my friend, knows a lot about the Canadian maple.
Your friend named Xavier? That is like the coolest thing ever.
Zoops, I love the way you were talking about Canada.
I'm sorry, Zoops is not one that I know, I'm afraid, Corey. We have to knock you out on Zoops. You have to go to Zoop Kitchen, I guess, to pick that one up. And we'll bring on Daniel to wrap this one up. Since Canada was a little bit confusing for Candace, we'll go to Mexico instead. we'll head to Mexico and see what's happening south of the border, starting with M for Mexico.
My word, to bring your grandmother on spring break. What a choice.
Nana, I just wanted you to experience what the youngins do. I mean, you were saying you didn't know what the kids were up to these days. I wanted to show you.
Oh, this is surprising.
Puppy, you are exactly like a puppy.
Quit trying to make fun of your Nana. She's here to support you so you can get a man in your life.
Really, Grandma? You have to bring that up now? It's awkward.
Sweaty men like that need to be in your life. I mean, look at the glisten on his pecs.
Totally. You have a good eye. Nana.
Unbelievable that you didn't know Nana got it in her days.
Very grossed out right now. I'm not even sure what to say about that.
Why are you grossed out? You should have seen me at spring break. Watch, I'll lift up my skirt and show him my boobies.
Don't look.
You seem concerned. Why, my little one?
Zebra print is not really the best, print to be showing off to the dudes, Grandma.
All right, I'll take the bra off then.
Bra stay on! Bra stays on!
Can you help me pick these up? They're on the ground now.
Don't even tell me.
Everything in my chest hurts because I think I stepped on my nipple.
For reals. I really need to find friends.
Grandma needs your help. Just call the big sweaty man and have them pick Grandma up. You can have one, I'll take the other.
How can you even manage that?
I've got sexy ways. These hips are brand new. I just had them installed.
Just calm down. Just calm down. We need to get, get you in bed, have a nap or something.
Knowledge of the Kama Sutra is exactly what I should do in the bed.
Well, we'll call scene on that then. All right. We could have gone through the alphabet a second time on that one, I'm sure, but that's all right. We're moving on. And now that we're in the mood, it's time for the dating game. Perfect. As we'll get to see now that we're all hot and sweaty from those glistening Mexican men.
Grandma gets a date? Oh!
Actually, it's going to be Jared who gets a date because he is our eligible bachelor. And so we're going to send him away to the green room to get ready for his time on the dating game. Now, the way the dating game works is he has 3 contestants, 3 eligible people whom he could possibly choose to date. We will know who they are, but he will not. And so those 3 people will have to give him clues in response to the questions that he asks them to suggest who they are without saying who they are. Just give away clues so that he can guess who they may be. You can take 1 volunteer if you think you can give clues without giving away too much, and answer questions about yourself. I see Sean wants to play, so if we can get him unmuted, he can volunteer. And so let's find out what the qualities are of these bachelors that are bachelors and bachelorettes that Daniel will have to get, that Jared will have to guess. Audrey and Mallory being the other 2. So if I could get in the chat a famous celebrity, somebody who's very famous these days. go ahead and put that in the chat while you're doing that. Also, a famous landmark, someplace you've always wanted to visit or visited, thought was great, a very well-known specific place that everybody kind of knows. Get those in there as well. And finally, because we're on Zoom, we can do video stuff. If you could look around your space really quickly and find something blue, get the blue thing, bring it up to the camera. Okay. All right. So we will go first with Mark Hamill. So Mark Hamill will be one of our characters. Then the St. Louis Arch will be the second, and then the third will be an ice tray, actually an ice tray. So I will give you first call, Sean, of those three. So Mark Hamill, who played
The ice tray.
St. Louis Arch, and so you want to be the ice tray?
Yes.
Okay, you are the ice tray. Audrey, that gives you Mark Hamill or the St. Louis Arch. What's your pick? You're muted.
You know what? I'm feeling architecture. I'll go with Arch.
Okay, that leaves Mark Hamill for you, Mallory.
This is just the night of impressions for me.
There you go. Okay, so ice tray, St. Louis Arch, Mark Hamill. Now, let's go get Jared and bring him back so we can find the match of his dreams. While Carrie's going and getting him, just to remind you, Jared's going to need some help here. If he's getting close, you can go ahead and put a thumbs up to let him know he's in the right neck of the woods. Just put that up to camera. We can see it. He can see it. He'll know he's on the right track. If he gets one, you go ahead and clap, let him know he's gotten it, and he can sit on that one. So, Jared, welcome. Hey, you've got three really eligible characters waiting to meet you. Go ahead and start asking questions.
Ooh, I'm so glad I waited for that whole theme song to finish before I said anything. What I like about these dating shows, it's my chance to meet perfectly normal people without any weird things about them. Let's get started. Bachelor number one. I like to have a good time. How would you show me a good time?
Well, first of all, it is me, sorry. Well, first of all, you sound like a large glass of water. Why don't you just fill me up and cool me down?
Ooh, that sounds hydrating. Bachelor number two. I like going out to crazy places. What's a crazy place you would take me, and what would we do?
Well, frankly, I'd like to take you down by the river and we'd have a monumental evening together. That's what I can tell you.
Ooh, statue-y. Bachelor number three. I like to travel to exotic places and do exotic things. What exotic place would you take me to, and what exotic things would we do?
I could take you to any exotic place, across any galaxy edge. You know, I could take you far off amazing places, and we could do really cool stuff.
Ooh, non-specific-y. Bachelor number one. I notice that you seem to be very interested in, as they say in exotic places, agua. What
Yes.
do you like best about water?
Well, I just like the way it fills me right up.
Well, you sure know what I'm looking for. You big old pitcher, you crazy vase, you gosh darn reservoir.
I'll cool that picture right off.
Names for you that obviously have nothing to do with who you are. Bachelor number 2. I'm a big old history buff.
Ooh.
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 What is your favorite time of history and historical person?
Well, you know me. I think of myself as an artist, so I'm thinking like the structural expressionist period of like the mid-century, like 60s. That's just my vibe, man.
Ooh, Andy Warhol-y? I just wanted to see if I could use Andy Warhol as an adjective, but apparently that doesn't work in this place. So I will move on to Bachelor number 3. Bachelor number 3. You seem to be able to go and cross galaxies. Can you tell me about maybe a spaceship or vehicle that you have?
Well, I don't particularly own a spaceship, but I have a couple of friends. They've got a ship that they've had for a millennium.
Ooh! Pause for effecty. You know what? I have another question for you, Bachelor number 3. Do you prefer the Arrow or the Lando? Somewhere in that neighborhood,
In that neighborhood, I think the Lando is pretty cool. Yeah, it's a pretty cool place.
Ooh, that sounds hothy to me. But probably not to other people, but I interpret things differently than most people. Bachelor number 1. If, let's say I was thirsty, because that's the theme I'm going to stick with here, what would be a good way that you could give me whatever drink I may imbibe in? How would you get me that?
Well, I don't like to pick out the drinks. I just like to be inside them.
Ooh, sounds ice coldy.
Ooh, you're getting closer.
Ooh, do you enjoy cubism? Just an art question.
Yes, about 12 of them, really.
All right, Bachelor number 1. Who is your favorite 80s rapper, Bachelor number 1? Is it Ice Cube?
He is. He's been inside of me multiple times.
Oh! Bachelor number 1, you are certainly a saucy drink right there. I think I'm going to go over to Bachelor number 2. Hi, Bachelor number 2. Good to talk to you again.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Hey, Bachelor number 2. You know where I like to visit is museums. What's your favorite museum?
Well, I don't really travel a lot. I just kind of like to stay in one place. You know me. It's just kind of a homebody.
You know what, Bachelor number 2? That leads me to another question. Hey, I like cities. What would you say is your favorite city?
Listen, why have one city when you can have 2 cities? 2 cities who are born on the same day.
Twinsy! I like it. Bachelor number 3. Hey, question for you. Let's say you were being attacked by a lot of, I don't know, let's call them bad guys. What kind of weapon would you use to fight them off with?
Oh, well, I have tons of weapons. Although people wouldn't really consider me fighting the bad guys.
Ooh!
I have that kind of Joker-like tendency, but only when I get really animated.
Well, certainly took me in a different direction here now, didn't it, Bachelor number 3?
Yes, I believe it did.
You know what? Let's talk to Bachelor number 1 again. Bachelor number 1, I feel kind of an Ice Cube theme going on here. I like ice cubes, but I really like a slushie. Hey, Bachelor number 1, what's your favorite frozen drink?
Well, you can use me any way you want, but I like to be put inside a margarita.
Nice! Bachelor number 1, I don't think you're tequila. I think, you know what? I've had a crush on some people in the past, and if there's one thing I love, it's crushed ice. Obviously, not everybody feels that way. That's just them. You know what I'm saying? You know, I like glasses that are like get really wide on the top too. Is that something you seem to like?
I think you just need to pull me out of the freezer and empty me out.
Bachelor number 1, you know, there are 2 things I always like to keep in my freezer. The neighbor who will not turn down their goddamn stereo, and an ice cube tray.
I knew I could cool you down.
Right on, and people I notice seem to like ice cube trays, so let's move on. Bachelor number 2. I noticed a twinsy theme right there. Say, Bachelor number 2, you know, I've been in some serious states. States of depression, states of happiness. What state do you like to be in, Bachelor number 2?
Well, I know what you mean. Like, it feels like sometimes I'm going up, I'm going up, I'm going up, and then I just crash right down equally as fast. You know what I mean? I think you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah! I sure do. That gravity, huh? Hey, I like pizza. But that probably doesn't have anything at all to do with anything that you're saying. So maybe I'll move on to Bachelor number 3. Bachelor number 3, I feel like we've kind of been universes away so far. So I sure like watching TV. Hey, Bachelor number 3, what is your favorite TV show?
Well, it's the TV shows that I am in.
Right! Yeah!
You know, I have to show off all of the versatile things I can do. I can do the spacey, magical kind of opera thing. I can do the fun thing. I can even do the creepy things where people talk at the same time and it's totally not terrifying.
Ooh! Fun! Hey, Bachelor number 3, I feel like I'm starting to wonder if maybe you're hiding a British accent, perhaps, of some kind. I don't know. That's a weird feeling I get that usually means nothing at all. So I'll just drop that subject completely. Bachelor number 2, I notice you like up and down stuff. I mean, who doesn't? Hey, you know what I really like? Spare ribs. You know, some people like the baby back. What are your favorite style of spare ribs? Or is that too, you know what? I'll just stop.
Frankly, I prefer the wishbone. I like that. I like that like nice arc that it has, and then you know you can just pull it apart. Frankly, I'm a turkey person rather than a ribs person.
I can see that. You know, I was thinking St. Louis for a while there, but I can tell. Turns out, I was thinking the right thing, apparently. I don't know why I felt that way. I just suddenly had a good feeling. You know what hurts on my feet all the time? The arches. Yeah, St. Louis Arch, come on!
Yeah, you got me. You know what I'm about.
I know what you're about. I thought everybody kind of knew right when I said arches, but I put it all together. And you know what? Let's talk to old bachelor number 3 over there. Bachelor number 3. You know what I like is streaming services. Do you have a favorite streaming service, bachelor number 3?
Well, the movies I'm most popular for are on everybody's favorite new streaming service, the Disney Plus, The Great Mouse.
Yeah, I love that mouse. You know, bachelor number 3, you know what I love is Baby Yoda. Who doesn't love Baby Yoda, right?
I mean, that's a little after my time, and by a little after, I mean a lot after my time.
Oh, well, sorry for making you feel old there, bachelor number 3. Let me change the subject. Hey, I refer to family members as relatives. Do you? Sometimes I refer to family members as my kin. And a kin is somebody who is a family member. Yeah, I stretched to get there, didn't I? I like stretching.
You stretched, but you're living in the fantasy world. This is the real world. And yes, Hayden Christensen was great as my dad. Debatable in those prequels, but it's different. That's the fantasy world, kid. You gotta realize it's as cool as Galaxy's Edge is gonna be. It's not real, kid.
You know what I love? I love when a potential date calls me kid. Something about that just makes me happy. You know what? My dad's name is Mark. And if there is one thing I'm always looking for in a date, it's someone who reminds me of my dad. You know what else I love? That musical Hamilton. If I could put them together, I love me some Mark Hamill.
Yes! Yeah.
Well,
great. Right, but do you love him enough to choose him? What's your choice, bachelor?
Well, we'll see, because boy, do I love ice cube trays. Boy, do I love Mark Hamill. Boy, did I forget what bachelor number 2 was already. Oh, yeah! You know what? Sometimes I just need to stop and pause for a second and think, and that helps me remember St. Louis Arch. I would say if I was to choose any of them, the one who called me a nice tall drink of water, the one I like in my freezer, I'm choosing the ice cube tray.
All right, there you have it. Love is in the air. Very cool. All right. Well, now let's move on. Our next game is called World's Worst. In World's Worst, our cast, maybe some of you, will come up with the worst examples of various things. And I'll tell them what the category is. They'll come up with the world's worst examples of that thing, whatever it may be. So the way this works is they'll all be back in their squares. When you think you have something, you say me and hold your hand up real high where I can see it. And then I'll name a person. They'll come up and give us that example of the world's worst. So would some of you, up to 3 of you, like to play World's Worst with us? I see Corey wants to be in it. All right. And Andrea will try. Okay, let's get Andrea unmuted as well. She wants to join us for World's Worst. So let's get a few things to talk about world's worst examples of. If you could put in the chat now some occupations that you can think of, jobs that are of interest to you. You may hear about some of the world's worst of them. And then if you could put in the chat relationships between people, not like a family relationship, but like a way 2 people might be connected, like coworkers or something like that. So not like grandmother, nephew, but just different ways that people can be connected or related to one another. Put those in the chat as well. I'll also take some of your suggestions from earlier when I asked that question at the beginning of the show. So you can keep getting those in. Andrea, can we hear you?
Yes.
We can. All right. And Corey, can we hear you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let us begin with the world's worst amusement park from Kenobi Lake.
Me,
Daniel.
Adventure Park in New Jersey. Just a fact.
All right.
Me,
Daniel.
welcome to the park where we weren't able to afford seats, so there's just poles to sit on.
All right. Let's hear about another Labor Day special, the world's worst cookout.
Me.
Corey.
I like my hamburgers the size of a hockey puck.
Me.
Jared.
Hey, welcome to the Dahmer themed cookout. Come on, have a burger.
Me.
Andrea.
Welcome to the cookout with where the cow still moves.
Corey.
No, I didn't say anything.
Oh.
Me.
Mallory.
Welcome to our cookout. Here's a carrot in a hot dog bun.
Me.
Corey.
Welcome to the cookout. I have some nice molasses burgers coming your way.
Me.
John.
Thank you for coming to the Cookout store. We're having a buy two, get one free special on fire ants.
All right, let's hear about the world's worst bike messenger.
Me,
Daniel.
we're a really poor bike messaging company, so we weren't able to afford seats.
Me.
Jared.
Bicycle.
Me. Oh no, the message. Oh no, I'm sorry. I lost the message.
Me,
Daniel.
oh yeah, sorry. I'm gonna have to go back.
Hey,
Corey.
stop sending me a paper from like 1954.
Me.
Jared.
Ring, ring. Well, I got a little message for you. Your grandmother passed away.
And scene. All right. I think we need to stop right there, which takes us to our next game, which is called Trolley Stop. And in Trolley Stop, we're going to see a bunch of colorful characters, maybe even as colorful as that one. We'll have somebody who's just quietly waiting at a stop. And then a second person will come on as some interesting, larger-than-life character. And as they play that character, whoever is already at the stop will begin to match and mirror what that person's doing. They'll interact for a bit together in that style. And then the person who was there will find a reason to leave, leaving the person who came in to be there and await the next person to take on whatever persona they take on. So if you just want to play some interesting, fun characters, I can take up to 2 people to join us for this. And go ahead and let us know in the chat you'd like to join us. And otherwise, we will just play with ourselves. All right, so we'll go ahead and start with, we'll go down the line. Jared, Audrey, Mallory, John, Candace, Daniel. So Jared, you're at the stop, and Audrey, whenever you're ready, join us.
Oh, I do so wish that my husband, Gregory, did not leave me so alone after the war with only his handkerchief to remember him by.
Oh, I too am waiting here, thinking about my husband, who is also at the war, off to war, the war, you know, just left me behind with this one t-shirt.
I've received not even a letter. Oh, is this your fainting couch as well?
Tis. We can, of course, share the fainting couch as we wait.
Thank you, because in the absence of my dear husband, I do feel a case of the vapors coming on, if you don't mind.
It's getting a itchy in here. I must go.
Yes, go get your smelling salts, dear Belinda.
Whoa. Dude. Dude.
Yo, dude. Oh
Dude.
my God.
It's been so long.
Whoa.
Hey, it's been crazy, man. There's like so many colors.
Tell me about it.
Oh my gosh,
I haven't been like this since Ultimate Frisbee last year.
Dude, Ultimate Frisbee. I miss the league.
Yeah, yo, the discs, the game. That was it, man. That was my peak.
Yeah, that was the time, man.
Yo, I gotta go recapture my lost youth, bro.
Yeah,
I'll see you later.
Yeah, bro, you do that.
Thanks, man.
Oh, but I don't want to wait for the bus. Why?
It just always takes so long.
And I don't even know which number it is.
It's always so confusing.
And the bench hurts my butt. It's
They didn't even think to put cushions.
It's gonna take forever.
Wine. You know, I think I see a store over there that's just more whining. So I'm not gonna wait for the bus. I'll just go and whine.
Okay.
2, 4, 6, 8. Kudo, we appreciate your mama. Your mama.
3, 4, 5, 7. We love going to heaven because we're gonna wait for the bus until we die. Yay! Woo!
You guys.
Oh my god, this is so exciting. I can't wait for the bus to get here. Oh my god.
Oh my God. Waiting for the bus is the best thing ever in the world.
It's gonna get us here and we're gonna go all the fun places we want to go.
Ooh.
Although all this cheering is making me dehydrated, so I think I need to go get some water. I'm gonna go get some water.
Stay hydrated.
Where the bus go, I just don't know. I'd take the bus, but it is slow.
When I sit on this bench, I feel like a really awesome wench. Yeah.
You can sit by me tonight. I'm sure that you and me will be just right.
Dreaming of the bus coming. I gotta go.
Get it out, get it out, get it out now. Just get it out, get it out, get it out now.
And scene. All right. Hey, as I mentioned before, we bring the shows to you every Friday night for free. Glad to do it. We just want your laughter and appreciation. But if you want to do more than laugh and appreciate, you can also donate. And as a reminder, here's how. On Venmo, mo, and on PayPal, pal, or on our website. And hey, thank you, Lori. Thank you, Liz. Thank you, Nikki, all of whom have donated tonight. We really appreciate it, and you help us keep this going. Thank you so much. And to keep it going, we will move into our next game, which is Remake. So in Remake, we're going to see a scene, and then we're going to remake it. Makes sense, because that's what it's called, Remake. So I can take one volunteer who would like to play a scene, ordinary scene with us, and then we'll mix it up a little bit. So would somebody like to join us for the first scene of Remake? And put yourself in the chat if so. Lori, go ahead and unmute Lori. She'd like to join us. All right. So the rest of you, if you could in the chat, put in some of your favorite movies of all time. just movies that you've really loved over the years. Go ahead and put those in the chat. And Lori, you'll be doing our first scene with Daniel.
Walker.
And oh, okay, it's Walker, not Lori. All right. So Walker, you've got the first scene with Daniel. And Mallory, is there anything on the board that we haven't covered yet that we really need to get in here before the show's over?
We have not done Reese's king sized.
We have not done Reese's king size. Totally true, Walker, Daniel. So this is going to be a movie scene inspired by Reese's king size.
All right.
So let me get this straight. If we put down these really big Reese's, then a bigger alien's gonna follow us all the way to our bedroom.
Yes, correct. But unfortunately, it's also probably going to kill us.
Oh, okay. Well, that's dangerous. I was hoping maybe you just sit amongst our stuffed animals or like get into our fridge and get drunk, you know?
Oh, I didn't tell you. I didn't tell you that. Oh, well. Yeah. So we might die tonight. So, is there anything that you would like to say before we go?
Yeah, don't let him make any phone calls. That could be disastrous. What if it tells 911 we don't exist anymore?
Oh, you know what? I didn't think about that. Now I'm depressed.
No, Mike, don't be depressed. Look, have a Reese's. They're like really big.
That's really good. Have you tried it?
Well, I did, but I put them all on the ground, so I'm not sure I want to eat the ones that are on the ground, Mike. I mean, it's kind of gross.
Well, go buy a new one.
Well, Mike, if I buy a new one, then it means I leave you alone, and the alien comes and eats the Reese's, and then kills you, according to you, instead of like just sitting in the front of your bike while you ride towards the moon.
Well, you can live, and I'll die.
Mike, you're sacrificing yourself for me?
You must live on, my friend.
You are the best older brother ever. I mean, this is great. Does that mean I get your room and all your clothes?
No, that's off limits.
So I can't go in your room even if you've been killed and eaten by an alien? I actually still have to keep out like you put on the door?
No, because I will haunt you forever if you go into my room.
Oh, I'm worried about haunting now. Yeah, I can't just go in your room, play your boombox, stick in some Red Hot Chili Peppers, press play, huh?
You will regret it.
Okay.
And scene. All right, so you will regret it. This last line for that scene. Okay, but thought there was a little too much family tension there. We decided to go in a different direction for this movie. Needed to feel better, feel a little lighter. So we're going to remake it as a romantic comedy, like 10 Things I Hate About You, For Weddings and a Funeral, those types of movies. And John and Mallory are going to come on to do that same scene in that style.
So I heard that if you just put the Reese's cups on the ground, that the alien will just come straight to you and it'll be magical.
Aliens? I thought we were just gonna like hang out with the stuffed animals and maybe the freezer. I wasn't told aliens.
Well, I mean, we could all hang out together and it would just be the most amazing, magical feeling ever.
Amazing and magical. Like that time you let me try one of the Reese's from the floor?
Yes. Didn't it taste delightful?
I mean, it did taste delightful, but what if the aliens only want you?
Then I will happily give myself up for them. There is a small chance that they will kill us, but I'm more than willing to take that risk for love.
Well, if they do take you into space, does that mean I get to go in your room and get all your clothes?
Absolutely not.
What? But you'll be gone, and I can go in your room? Like, you won't be here, so that keep out sign on the door, you may never come back. What if I want to go in and listen to some Red Hot Chili Peppers on your boombox?
You could, but if you do, you'll regret it.
And scene. All right, well, people found that was not as romantic as they would have liked. Didn't really do so well, so really need to go in a different direction with it. Of course, we need something with a bit more magic than just magical romance. We need real magic like The Princess Bride or Shazam. It's magical, heroic fantasy. A blockbuster is what we need for this. And Audrey and Jared are just the actors to bring it to us. Especially when unmuted.
If we put down these really big Reese's, then maybe an even bigger alien will come.
I'll need to use up all of my power reserves in order to make these Reese's really big, but it will have been worth it.
If the fate of the universe rests in our hands and the hands of the delicious chocolate and peanut butter, we're the team that can do it.
I call upon the spirits of product placement. Please come to my aid.
This adventure is one that we'll have to use all our magic powers for. And I wish I knew who my real mysterious dad was also. Just throwing that out there, maybe as a plot point for later in the movie. We'll see.
That's right. You haven't mentioned your mysterious dad since the beginning of Act 1.
That's right, I haven't.
I sure hope he's not connected to those aliens that we're trying to lure in any way.
Don't you say that! My estranged father, who I've never ever met in my life, is undoubtedly, in my mind, a good man! And it will have nothing to do with the future situation.
I'm positive that you're right, and your comeuppance won't be ironic at all.
I couldn't agree more with you. And in fact, if there does end up being a battle with somebody, most likely not my dad, because I'm sure he is a really good guy, I will sacrifice myself.
Really? That's very bold of you because, usually it's me who gets thrown around as a plot point and then ceremoniously killed off for no reason.
I agree with you, but the stakes are really high when it's like me versus definitely not gonna be my father later on in the movie. Just me, the country boy who grew up in a little small village and could make weird things come out of my fingers. I know that was a lot.
Well, once you complete your character arc, perhaps I could go into your room and steal your magical runes that contain the spirits of the product placement ancestors.
Oh, absolutely fucking not. No. No.
Very well. In that case, I may just smite you now in order that I may gain your power for myself and absorb your soul in mine.
Thou shalt regretteth that.
And scene. Truly thou shalt. And what thou shalt also regret is the fact that we have unfortunately come to our last game of the evening. Aww. Our last game tonight, however, will be Because I Said So. Because I said so, I have the mind of a child and I need to know what all children need to know. Why? And so I will keep asking my parents, who will be all of us and possibly some of you, to justify things over and over again. So I can take up to 3 volunteers, and we've got some eager ones. Corey wants to come in, and Lori, and I think this time it's actually Lori because she's got the parental experience, not Walker. Don't trust him to take that just yet. Who will join us as parents here.
Can we really trust her as a parent, though? She hasn't shown her child E.T. Sorry, we've been having a chat.
All right.
Andrea wants to come in too.
Oh, Andrea wants to come in? All right. Well,
yeah.
We can take a third. All right, so we'll put in Andrea as well. So I'll let you guys know when to come in. And I will be asking lots of questions. You will come in 2 at a time and be my parents, answering as I ask you why. So since Lori, since you're unmuted, since Walker, let's unmute Sean for a moment. And just because we're finishing off your show, Sean, you go ahead and tell us, as the fam, is there something that you didn't see enough of that you want to see more of, or something that you didn't see that you want to see for the first time?
I can't think of anything, to be honest with you. You guys, Reese's was the last one. You guys just picked that up on the last one, so.
All right, so nothing is the answer. Okay, thank you, Sean. So my first parents are Jared and Audrey. And the question, Jared, is why is there nothing?
Because if we don't have nothing, then we're not able to appreciate when we have something.
Why?
Because reverse psychology works on children.
Why?
Because children just aren't advanced enough to have gotten the biases that give them a strong opinion in one way or the other on these things.
If we're not advanced enough, then we can understand that kind of explanation. You're gone, Daddy.
Why?
Next on will be Corey. Corey will be my new parent. And the question is, why do adults try to make things so hard for kids to understand?
Because adults need to figure out things when they get older.
Why?
Because only on your 50th birthday do you get the brain cells to do that.
Why?
Because the brain cells need to grow as you get older too.
Why?
Brain cells grow on trees and they take 50 years to grow.
Why?
Because 50 years is also a year for brain cells to stay inside your brain.
That doesn't really make sense. Bye-bye. Okay, Mallory. What is a brain?
I am not reading the.
Brain is the thing inside your head that helps you think.
Why?
Because your spleen is inside your rib cage.
Why?
Because your spleen likes to be friends with your lungs and your heart.
Why?
Because the intestines are mean as hell.
Why?
Because they process a lot of food.
Why?
Because that's where food goes when you go glug, glug, glug.
Why?
Because that's how a throat works.
Why?
Because throats are actually just snakes. They swallow the food down.
Why?
Because everybody needs an internal best friend.
Why?
Because the external best friends are shit.
Why?
Because they're two-faced and talk about you behind your back.
Why?
Because they don't have anything better to talk about.
Why?
Because their lives are empty and hollow.
Why?
Because they're actually jack-o'-lanterns.
Why?
Because it's time for spooky season. It's September, Halloween.
Why?
Because Halloween is the time when we become ghosts.
Why?
Because being a ghost is so much fun.
Why?
You get to say boo to your neighbors that you hate.
Why?
Because it scares them.
Why?
Because they're afraid of words that begin with the letter B.
Why?
Because they're basic bitches.
No, they're afraid of that. They wouldn't be that. No B. All right, Lori, you're my next parent. And why are some people afraid of letters?
Because letters, they can combine and make really scary words.
Why?
Because words are better than swords.
Why?
Because the pen is sharper than the sword.
Why?
Because pens, you can just put them in a pen sharpener and you need a whetstone for a sword.
Why?
Because a sword is made out of metal and a pen is only made out of plastic.
Why?
Metal is forged from the earth.
Why?
Because the gods deemed that we needed something that was harder than rocks.
Why?
Because rocks just weren't cutting it for cutting people.
Why?
Because you would crack at them and they would just fall apart. You need something harder.
Why?
Because killing is what keeps everybody happy in this earth.
Too dark. Bye-bye, mommy. John, you're on. Why shouldn't we kill people?
Because everyone deserves to live.
Why?
Because there's so many things that can happen in this world, and everybody needs the chance to actually reach that goal.
Why?
Because if people don't experience things, then their lives will just be kind of sad and empty.
Why?
Because I don't know how to answer that question.
Well, then go away, mommy.
Bye.
All right, so Andrea, you can join John. Why are some answers so hard to find?
Because you don't know the words to give to answer the questions.
Why?
Because nobody knows everything.
Why?
Because there's no one out there that's a super genius that knows everything there's possibly to know.
That's what he just said. Bye-bye, mommy. Candace, new mommy. Why do people repeat things?
Because it helps them remember it better.
Why?
Because remembering things is important if you want to get through life.
Why?
Because if you keep forgetting things, then people will yell at you if you keep forgetting things.
Why?
Because forgetting things actually causes major inconveniences to those around you.
Why?
Because if you're forgetting things and the people around you feel like you don't respect them.
Why?
Because when you actually remember things about people, they feel more valuable because you've taken the time to take them into consideration.
Why?
Because that is what makes them feel cherished and loved.
Why?
Because everybody deserves to feel cherished and loved.
Why?
Because we are all on the earth together.
Why? I hear crickets.
Because the stork.
I hear crickets, Daddy.
Because the stork.
Go away, Daddy. And new Daddy, Daniel. Why is silence so terrifying?
Because it's the sound of night.
Why?
Because at nighttime, things have to be quiet because there are predators around.
Why?
Because the predators are librarians and they hate noise.
Why?
Because they all learned the Dewey Decimal System.
Why?
Because the Louis Decimal System wasn't good enough for Scrooges.
Why?
Because there weren't enough numbers.
Why?
Because we hadn't invented them yet. We'd only gotten up to 3. 1, 5, 3.
Why?
Because we started with 3 and we eventually needed more.
Why?
Because otherwise we'd have too many cats and you'd just be like me.
Why?
Because cats tend to enjoy multiplying in your household, whether you wish them to or not.
Why?
They're trying to protect you from the librarians.
Why?
Because cats are the best protectors against librarians.
Why?
Because their meow sends echoes through the books and then the librarians don't know where it's coming from.
Why?
Because they can only hear echoes.
I don't think so.
I thought it was bullshit too. It's all good.
And scene. All right. Thanks everybody so much for joining us. Hey, we play here every Friday night, but we're on Zoom. We can kind of play anywhere. So if you have some event, some corporate thing, some personal thing, birthdays, weddings, whatever you want, we can come do it virtually. It's like magic on the internet. You can go to our webpage to find out more about how that works. Book us if you want. We'll play lots of places, lots of times through Zoom. Hey, so glad you were here. Tell your friends about us. Use your social media. It's fun for you, fun for them too. Let everybody know. More the merrier. We always like people to bring their own improv and let them know. Thank you all for being here and enjoying tonight with us. Especially thanks to all of our volunteers for bringing your own improv tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. Most of all, thanks to our fam, Sean, for inspiring us tonight. Thank you, Sean. I'd like to thank our wonderful cast tonight. I had Jared.
Ooh, finale.
I had Audrey.
I hope my husband returns from the war soon.
I had Mallory.
I didn't know I could do this kind of Joker impression. We learned something new today.
I had John.
But I want to eat the Reese's cups on the floor. Why?
We had Candace.
Dreaming of pacification.
We had Daniel.
Look what Grandma can do if she takes out her teeth.
We had Carrie, our door lady, who greeted you and spent time with you before we all arrived. I was your host, Ian. And Steve. YouTube, everybody. Good night,
Background
good night,
music,
good night.
background music.